Imagine this. You are strong in the gym, you play sports, you can sprint, jump, lift, but then you try something simple. You sit down on the floor and try to stand back up without using your hands. Or you drop into a deep squat and hold it for 30 seconds. Suddenly, your hips, ankles, and back start complaining. That gap between what you can lift and how you actually move is exactly what we are fixing in this video. This is not a flexibility video. This is a focused mobility routine built for people who already train and want to perform better, not just stretch for the sake of stretching. In the next 10-15 minutes, I am going to give you 3 things you can plug straight into your training week. A fast movement age test so you can see where your body really is right now, a simple daily mobility routine you can run in 10 minutes, and a 30-day plan to lock it in. We will use smart, ground-based functional mobility exercises that make you stronger in the positions you actually need for lifting, running, and sport. Think of it as mobility training for longevity, not just to protect your joints when you are 60, but to help you hit better positions and avoid dumb injuries now. This is for you if you are between 18 and 50, you already love training, but you know there are holes in how you move. Squats feel tight at the bottom, your shoulders hate overhead work, your hips feel like they belong to someone older. You do not need a full reset or a new identity. You just need one short, repeatable longevity workout that upgrades the way your body moves around the training you already love. That is what we are building here. Watch this through once, then come back and actually do it with me. Let us start with how strength and mobility really work together. Most of us in this age range grew up believing one of 2 things. Either strength is everything or flexibility is everything. In real life, your body is more complicated than that. Strength is how much force you can produce for your lift, your sprint, your jump. Mobility is how well your joints move and how well you can control those positions under load. If you're strong but you move like you're wearing a cast, your performance will hit a ceiling fast and your injury risk goes up. If you're bendy but weak, you can hit crazy positions, but your body cannot stabilize them. The point of a smart mobility routine is to close that gap.
The way I want you to think about it is simple. Strength is the engine. Mobility and stability are the steering and brakes. A big engine with no control is not power, it is chaos. When you add a focused daily mobility routine to your lifting, running, or sport, you are teaching your joints to handle the positions your muscles are already strong enough to reach. That is what functional mobility exercises are really about. Owning your range, not just visiting it in a stretch. This matters even more if you are the kind of person who loves pushing numbers. Heavier squat, faster 5K, more intense sessions. The positions you can get in comfortably decide how clean your technique is. Hips that actually move let you squat and hinge deeper without your back taking over. Ankles that actually move let you hit better depth without collapsing your knees. Shoulders that actually move let you press and pull overhead without grinding. Mobility training for longevity is not for later when I am old. It is performance work for right now that also happens to protect your future self. So, in this video, we are not choosing between strength and mobility. We are stacking them. You keep your heavy work, your conditioning, your sport, but you plug in one short longevity workout that improves how you move in all of them. It is not about becoming a yoga master. It is about becoming that athlete in the gym or on the field who looks strong, moves clean, and is still doing it years from now while everyone else is talking about their old injuries. With that frame in mind, let us actually test where your movement is today. Before we talk about routines, let us see where you actually are right now. Think of this as a quick movement age check for athletes and lifters. It's not perfect science, but it is brutally honest. We'll run through a few simple moves that test how well you control your own body weight. a sit-to-floor and stand-up pattern that has been linked to long-term health in large studies, plus checks for squat depth, shoulder mobility, balance, and basic leg strength.
Test 1. The sit to rise. Stand in a clear space, bare feet if possible. From standing, sit down on the floor in a controlled way. Then stand back up, using as little help from your hands, elbows, or knees as you can. Do it twice, any way that feels natural. Every time you touch down with a hand, forearm, or knee, mentally subtract a point. If you get down and up with no extra support, that is top tier. If you need a couple of assists, that is normal for a lot of people. If you cannot do it without serious struggle, that is your big red flag. This is your first reality check for your personal mobility routine. Test 2. The deep squat hold. Stand about shoulder width, toes slightly turned out. Drop into the deepest squat you can manage with control. Aim to keep your chest somewhat upright and your heels on the floor. Hold for up to 30 seconds if you can. Notice 3 things. Do your heels stay down? Do your knees track roughly over your toes? And can you keep your back from collapsing into a full curl? If you feel like you are going to fall backwards or everything cramps after a few seconds, that is your hips and ankles telling you your daily mobility routine has been missing in action. Test 3. Shoulder reach. Stand tall. Take one hand over the top, behind your neck, sliding it down between your shoulder blades. Take the other hand up from your lower back, palm facing out, and see how close your fingers get. Then swap sides. If your fingers touch or overlap on both sides, nice. If there is a big gap, remember it. That gap usually shows up later as cranky shoulders in pressing, pulling, and overhead work. These are the exact joints we will target with functional mobility exercises in the routine. Test 4. Single leg balance. Stand next to a wall or rack just in case. Fix your eyes on a point in front of you, lift one foot a few centimeters off the floor, and see how long you can hold without tapping down or grabbing support. Aim for around 10 seconds per side as a baseline. Switch legs. Most people have one side that is noticeably worse. For anyone who plays field or court sports, this is a big deal. Balance, ankle control, and hip stability are key parts of any smart mobility training for longevity, even if you are still in your 20s. Test 5. 30-second chair stands. Grab a solid chair, sit with your feet under you, arms crossed over your chest. When you start the timer, stand all the way up and sit back down with control as many times as you can in 30 seconds without using your hands. Count your reps. You are not chasing a magic number here. You are checking how your legs, hips, and lungs feel. If this gasses you much more than you expected, that tells you your lower body engine and your movement quality are not fully matched yet. Exactly what a good longevity workout should bring together.
Once you have done all 5, you should have a rough picture of your movement age. Maybe you crush the strength style tests, but struggle with range and control. Maybe your balance is shaky on one side. Maybe the sit-to-rise test exposes a bigger gap than you thought. That is fine. The goal is not to feel bad about it. The goal is to know exactly what you are working with. In the next part, we will turn this into a fast, ground-based mobility routine you can run in about 10 minutes, built to slide into your current training week without fighting it. Now we turn those tests into something you can actually plug into your training week. Think of this as your 10-minute, ground-up mobility routine that you can use as a warm-up on lifting days, a reset before sport, or a standalone feel-better block on rest days. We will keep it simple. 3 blocks, a few functional mobility exercises in each, focused on the hips, ankles, shoulders, and your ability to get down and up from the floor with control. You do not need equipment, just a bit of space and a timer. Block 1 is lower body control in range, the stuff that makes squats, deadlifts, jumping, and change of direction feel smoother. Start with 40 to 60 seconds of controlled chair stands or bodyweight squats. Feet about shoulder width, sit your hips back, drive through the floor, stand tall. No bouncing, no rushing, just clean reps. Think of it as greasing the groove between your brain, your hips, and your knees. Then drop into the deepest squat you can manage with your heels down, Hold the bottom for 20 to 30 seconds and gently shift your weight side to side. You are teaching your ankles and hips to own the bottom position, not panic when you get there. Still in that low stance, step one foot out to the side into a lateral squat or Cossack-style position, then back to center, then out to the other side. Aim for 6 to 8 slow reps each way. You do not have to go rock bottom from day one. Stay in a range you can control. This frontal plane work hits the adductors and hip stabilizers your regular squats and lunges do not always touch. Already, this block is more than stretching. It's strength and mobility training combined. Exactly what a proper daily mobility routine should feel like.
Block 2 is your upper body reset. Sit on the floor with your knees bent, feet flat. Place your hands behind you, fingers turned out or slightly back, wherever your wrists are happiest. From here, press the floor away, lift your chest, and gently pull your shoulder blades together. Hold this open chest position for 20 to 30 seconds, breathing slowly. Then start to slide your hips a little closer to your hands and a little further away in a small rock for another 30 to 40 seconds. You are unlocking the front of your shoulders and chest while making your wrists and elbows actually carry a bit of load. A simple but powerful functional mobility exercise for anyone who presses, does push-ups, or plays a sport that demands reaching and bracing. Over time, this block becomes a key part of your mobility training for longevity in the upper body. Block 3 ties everything together, the floor to stand loop. Start on your hands and knees, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, toes tucked. Lift your knees a few centimeters off the floor into a low hover and hold for 5 seconds. Feel your core, quads, and shoulders switch on. From there, straighten your legs and push your hips up and back into an inverted V. It does not matter if your heels touch. Think more about sending your hips back and getting length through the backs of your legs. Then, with small steps, walk your hands towards your feet. When they are close enough, soften your knees, roll up to standing, reset for a breath, and reverse the pattern back down. Run that loop 4 to 6 times, smooth and controlled. No jerking, no racing the clock. Over a week or two, you will feel the difference. Hamstrings and calves less tight, shoulders more comfortable in a weight-bearing position, getting down and up from the floor less awkward. This is the heart of your longevity workout. Real-world movement that keeps your joints honest and your engine connected to your steering. Combined, these 3 blocks give you a complete 10-minute mobility routine you can drop into any day of the week without blowing up your program. To keep it simple, here is a sample structure you can literally copy into your notes. Block 1, lower body, 3 to 4 minutes. 40 to 60 seconds controlled chair stands or body weight squats. 20 to 30 seconds deep squat hold with gentle side-to-side shift. 6 to 8 lateral squats each side within comfortable range. Block 2, upper body, 3 to 4 minutes. 20 to 30 seconds open chest floor sit, hands behind, chest up. 30 to 40 seconds gentle rock, hips closer, further from hands. 5 to 8 reverse tabletop lifts. Block 3, floor to stand loop, 3 to 4 minutes. 4 to 6 reps, hover on hands and toes, then hips up and back, walk hands to feet, then stand, then reverse back down. Run this sequence 3 to 5 times per week around your existing lifting, running, or sport. Treat it like brushing your teeth for your joints. It is short enough that you can actually stick to it, but dense enough to change how you move if you are consistent. In the next section, we will clean up a few bad ideas about training and aging that often stop people from committing to this kind of work, even when they know they need it. Before we wrap this up, we need to clear a few things that quietly kill progress for people who actually love training. These are not just general population myths, these are the stories lifters, runners, and sport people tell themselves. If you recognize any of these in your own thinking, do not beat yourself up. Just use them as a signal that it is time to plug this mobility routine in properly, instead of treating it like optional extra work. Myth 1. I train hard already. That is enough. You lift, you run, you hoop, you roll. Great. but hard sessions on stiff joints are like driving a fast car with bad alignment. You might get away with it for a while, but the wear and tear adds up in your knees, hips, shoulders, and lower back. Strength and conditioning build your engine. A short, consistent daily mobility routine keeps the chassis straight so your engine does not tear it apart. The people who perform well for years are not just the strongest, they're the ones whose joints still move cleanly. Myth 2. I just need to stretch more. Most athletes who say this mean, I hold a few random stretches after training when I remember. That is not a plan. Passive stretching on its own does not teach you to control new range. It just opens the door and walks away. Functional mobility exercises are different. You move in and out of positions with intent, under a bit of load, with your brain switched on. That is how you turn looser into stronger in better positions, which is exactly what you want for heavier lifting, sharper change of direction, and fewer stupid tweaks. Myth 3. I do not have time. Look at your week honestly. You probably squeeze in an extra set here, another scroll on your phone there, a bit of Netflix before bed. A 10-minute ground-based mobility routine 3 to 5 times per week is less time than one more YouTube video or one more last set you didn't really need. The difference is that this 10 minutes pays you back. Cleaner positions, better technique, less joint drama, and a body that still wants to move in 5, 10, 20 years. Once you feel the difference in your training, it stops feeling like extra work and starts feeling like obvious maintenance. When you drop these myths, you stop treating mobility as an optional side quest and start treating it like part of the main game. Your heavy days, your conditioning, your sport, they all hit differently when your joints actually move the way they're supposed to. The mobility routine we built in the last section isn't there to replace your training. It's there to make every rep you're already doing count more. Next, let's zoom out for a minute and look at a few lifestyle tweaks that make this whole process easier, so your progress isn't fighting against the other 23 hours of your day.
Here is the good news. You do not have to live like a monk to make this work. A 10-minute mobility routine can do a lot on its own, but it does even more when the rest of your life is not pulling in the opposite direction. Think of this as the support crew for your training. A few small changes in how you move, recover, and structure your day can make your strength work, conditioning, and functional mobility exercises all hit harder with less effort. First, your engine. Easy cardio. I am not talking about all-out intervals here. I mean regular, relaxed sessions where you could still have a conversation. Brisk walks, easy cycles, light jogs, a steady row. A couple of these sessions each week make your body better at clearing fatigue and bringing fresh blood to your muscles and joints. That means when you drop into your daily mobility routine or your main lifts, you are starting from a better place. Your heart and lungs are not just for cardio days. They support every rep you do. Second, sleep. Boring, but brutal when it is bad. If you lift heavy, run hard, or play sport, but sleep 4 or 5 broken hours a night, your body is constantly trying to recover on a half-empty tank. You do not need a perfect routine. Just aim for a more consistent bedtime, a dark, cooler room, and less screen time right before bed. When sleep improves even slightly, your sessions feel smoother, your mobility work feels less like a fight, and your body actually has a chance to adapt to the longevity workout you are putting it through. Third, how much you sit. Most of us train hard for an hour, then sit for the other 10 to 12 hours of the day. That's like washing your car and then parking it in a swamp. You do not have to stand all day, but you can break the pattern. Every hour or so, stand up, walk a bit, drop into a half squat, do a quick floor to stand rep or two. Think of tiny movement snacks, 30 seconds here, 60 seconds there. They keep your joints from locking up between sessions and make your mobility training for longevity feel more natural, not like a complete reset every time. Fourth, recovery. Recovery is not just lying on the sofa and hoping the soreness disappears. It's how you eat, hydrate, breathe, and move on your off days. On lighter days, swap a heavy session for your 10-minute mobility routine plus a walk. On tough weeks, Drop one hard workout, but keep your ground-based movements going. That way you maintain the quality of your movement even when you temporarily dial back the intensity. Over time, this stops the classic cycle of going all in, getting banged up, then doing nothing for weeks. Finally, habits. The athletes who keep their bodies moving well into their 30s, 40s, and beyond are not necessarily the most talented. They are the ones who have made this stuff automatic. The fastest way to do that is to attach your mobility routine to things you already do. 2 minutes of hip and ankle work right after brushing your teeth. Your upper body block before you open your laptop. The floor to stand loop before your evening shower. At that point, it's not extra work, it's just how you run your day. And your joints quietly thank you every time you train.
Let us turn all of this into something concrete you can actually follow. A 30-day ground-up challenge. Think of it as a mini training block dedicated to your joints. You would periodize your strength work or your conditioning. This is the same idea, but for your movement quality. For 30 days, you are going to treat a 10-minute mobility routine like a real session, not a warm-up you skip when you are late. That is how you turn good intentions into results. Day 1 is your baseline. Go back to the movement age tests, sit to rise, deep squat hold, shoulder reach, single leg balance, and 30-second chair stands. Do them once, calm and honest, and write down what happens. If you train in a gym, get someone to film quick clips on your phone. That is your before, not a flex, just a clear snapshot of how you move today. This gives you something real to measure your daily mobility routine against, instead of relying on vibes. Days 2 to 29 are where the work happens. Your job is simple. 10 focused minutes a day. Run the 3 blocks we built earlier, hips and ankles, shoulders and upper back, floor to stand loop, exactly like you would run a strength circuit. Move with intent, breathe, do not rush. You can drop this mobility routine before lifting, after sport, or on its own on lighter days. If you miss a day, do not scrap the challenge. Just get straight back on it the next day. Consistency over 30 days matters far more than perfection. The key here is attitude. Do not treat those 10 minutes as just stretching. Treat them like practice. Every deep squat hold, every reverse tabletop, every controlled floor-to-stand rep is you sharpening positions that show up in your squats, presses, sprints, and change of direction. This is mobility training for longevity in the most practical sense. You are making your body better at the patterns you already ask of it, so you can train harder now and still be doing this stuff years down the line. On day 30, you retest. Same room, same tests, same honesty. Sit down and stand up again. Drop into your deepest squat and hold. Reach behind your back. Stand on one leg. Hit your 30-second chair stands. You don't need anyone else to tell you what changed. You will feel it. Maybe your heels stay down easier. Maybe your shoulders find a bit more range. Maybe your balance is less shaky. Maybe the chair stands no longer spike your heart rate. Whatever moves, that is your proof that 10 minutes of functional mobility exercises have actually shifted your movement age. From there, you have options. You can bank the win and move on, or you can decide that this is now part of how you train. For most people who lift or play sport, the best move is to keep this longevity workout in your week, even if you drop it to 3 sessions instead of daily. That way your joints keep adapting, your positions stay clean, and your strength and conditioning have a solid base to build on. You're not adding more noise to your program, you are raising the quality of everything you are already doing. To lock it in, do 2 small things. First, schedule it. Put 10-min ground-up mobility into your calendar on specific days and times, just like a normal session. Second, tell someone, a training partner, a friend, or even drop your starting test results in the comments when you post the video. Once it's written down and spoken out loud, it's much harder to quietly skip. That is how a daily mobility routine goes from nice idea to a habit that actually changes the way you move and perform. If this hit home for you, do not just click away and forget it. Pause for a second and decide when you are going to start your 30-day ground-up challenge. Is it tonight after work, tomorrow morning before breakfast, or right before your next lifting session? Pick a time, drop it in your calendar, and treat that 10-minute mobility routine like any other important session. If you want more follow-along versions and structured mobility training for longevity built specifically for people who lift and play sport, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next.